Hello and welcome to the last subsection, where we look at how to move from planning to action. You have learned so far that a city should define clear targets, prioritize its main actions, and find mechanisms to finance these actions in order to make integrated climate action planning come to real life.
Yet, there is something missing. How can a city measure whether its actions are successful? What if the results are not as expected? What if the benefits are not serving the most vulnerable populations as well? How can a city decide whether to change or continue with a specific set of actions?
The answer is that cities need to track progress. If a city does not track its actions, it cannot measure its effectiveness and impact. Consequently, it will have less access to resources and less credibility with its citizens.
That is why tracking progress is essential to make climate action viable. A good set of indicators with proper monitoring, evaluation, and reporting system in place is critical for a city to be able to manage its own policies and learn through the process.
Tracking progress means increasing accountability and transparency, having better evidence for decision-making, widening the responsibility of climate action to various stakeholders, and ensuring more integration at a regional, national, and even international level.
We will hear more about this from our expert Laura Perry, Senior Manager for CDP, an international organization that tracks what cities, investors, companies, states, and regions do to manage their environmental impacts.
Laura, welcome. It's great to have you here with us. And our first question to you is, why is it so important for cities to track and monitor their climate actions?
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Firstly, cities are absolutely crucial players in the global fight against climate change. They house over half of the world's population. Over 55% of people live in cities today, and that'll grow to over 70% by the year 2050. So almost everyone in the world will live in a city. And this means that we really can't achieve that 1.5 degree pathway without cities taking really fundamental and ambitious action. We really see reporting as the first step in climate action. So cities have to understand where the emissions are coming from and what their risks are before they can take meaningful action. And that's really the role that reporting plays.
So you were saying that reporting comes before action. Normally, the idea is that reporting comes after. Can you explain a bit more to us? Why is it important for a city to have understanding of its data and report before starting to work on climate action?
Absolutely. And what I'd say is cities should start taking action as soon as possible. What we're really clear about is that we don't have time for cities to go down the wrong route. So we'd encourage all cities to take no regrets action as soon as they possibly can. But what we're really about here at CDP is data-driven action. So we really want to encourage cities to take action in the highest emitting sectors. And reporting is a really brilliant way of understanding what those high emitting sectors are and using that data to deliver action. Equally, in terms of risk, we want cities to be understanding who in their population is at greatest risk, what infrastructure is most likely to be impacted, and taking a data-driven approach to protecting that. So that's why I'd say kind of setting a baseline and understanding risks, understanding emissions is a really key part of reporting and is such a key, crucial first step for cities to take that data-driven action.
Excellent. And there were more than 1,000 cities reporting to CDP Ecolate in 2021, with 68% of them already taking action and reducing emissions. So what do cities gain from measuring and disclosing this kind of information?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the main benefits of reporting is that cities can provide us with their data, which is then displayed on our open data platform. And this is used by a huge range of stakeholders, from investors and financiers to academics doing research, in order to kind of shape the policies, the finance, and the research that's happening to inform city action as well. By reporting to CDP Ecolate, which is the world's biggest environmental reporting platform for cities, cities are able to report to multiple initiatives, so they don't have this requirement to report the same data to multiple different places, whether it's the UN's races for zero and race to resilience, or local level initiatives as well. All of our data is publicly available, so anyone can use that to help track cities' progress.
And how complex it is for a city to fill in the form and register and put their information there on the platform?
That's a really good question. And one of our kind of main incentives and objectives is to make reporting as easy as possible for cities while maintaining that kind of rigor that we need in order to have good quality environmental data that cities need to take action. So one of the ways that we've made it as simple as possible is there's no minimum reporting requirement for cities. If cities want to start their reporting journey, we'll just ask them to report the data that they have. And in seeing the gaps, we hope that they'll understand what data they're missing, which will inform better reporting in future years. So this is really kind of a journey that cities go on to improve their data year after year. We don't expect cities to be amazing at it in the first year, providing loads of data. It's definitely a process.
And how would you say that cities can track and monitor their actions if they don't have a lot of good quality and complete data available?
It's a really good question. So definitely the first step in identifying what data they have is, unsurprisingly, reporting to CDP at ClayTrack. We've laid out really comprehensively all of the data that cities should have. And so a lot of our cities find it very useful to identify what they have now and which data they need to report once they have it. We don't have a minimum reporting requirement. So if cities don't have that data now, then they can report it in future years. In terms of data that they don't currently have, there are problems in terms of data gaps, and part of the benefit of reporting to CDP at ClayTrack is helping cities work with other stakeholders who might have that data. So whether that's local businesses operating locally, or whether that's the national government or other cities or states in the area, then part of the process is kind of helping them work collaboratively with those others.
Thanks. And I have a final question, which is, what is your top recommendation for cities that are just starting to plan for climate action?
So my top recommendation is start reporting. You'll not be surprised to hear that I think this is a really crucial first step. We know that cities who are just at the beginning of their climate journey now really need to take swift action and in a decisive and data-driven way. And so by reporting, it really plugs cities into the help and support that they need, as well as helping guide the action that they take. So definitely get started reporting. There's no minimum requirement, and we'll help you along the way.
Laura, thank you so much for sharing your insights with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Now that you've heard about why a city should care about tracking its own actions, the next question is, how?
In the next unit, you will see a step-by-step presentation on how a city can set up a monitoring, evaluation, and reporting system for climate action.
It is important to mention that there is no one-size-fits-all solution for tracking climate action. Each city has its own internal systems for monitoring, accounting, and providing transparency. What we intend to provide is a set of good practices and case studies that can be useful to any city in the world.
We hope that you continue learning throughout this course. See you soon!